Welcome back to Sydney Retro MTB. Today I thought I would do a in-depth bike check on the Redbull Blackwater Whistler Cycle Works frame, which I basically stripped down to bare aluminium via sandpaper and wire brushes and things like that, and auto sol polish to produce this work of art as you see now. So yeah, basically it's the first time I've actually used motocross bars, and that was actually the inspiration to do this build, was the bars and the frame, and essentially make it into the Ghetto AF MK4. I wanted to try and keep a bit of an industrial kind of look to it, and that was just kind of, yeah, inspiration from the bars, but then also I think the colouring of the Manitou Magnum forks kind of just, you know, it's got a heavy CNC machined arch on it, and it just looks a bit industrial, so that's kind of why I went with them forks as well. So I just wanted to try and keep it pretty industrial as I can. Obviously when you start using anodized parts for different accents on it, you can go a bit overboard. I think this is at its max level without looking too bad, or too kind of like a bit of a clown bike. But yeah, I'm actually going to kind of swap out some parts, so it actually just have a bit of a twist on it over the next week or two. And I will disclose that now. There might be some reiterations, but I've got an old purple anodized cantilever set. So obviously I've got the XTR M950 V brakes on there at the moment, but I've always wanted to use the canties. I've had them in a box for about 2 or 3 years, and also it's got a purple anodized water bottle cage to match it. I was going to put essentially a Brand X or an Ozonic Shorty silver CNC machine stem on. Now that will lower the ride height on here, and it's actually a really good upright ride height. But yeah, I think I'm going to take out the Controltech stem and put an Ozonic on there. Also, these wheels are actually going to be going on another build, so it will most probably have some silver rims on it, and I have got some tan wall tyres on there. Also as well, I'm a bit unsure about the Death Grip grips on there. I kind of want the, I think it's like the Space or the Galaxy version, just to try and tone down that front end and make it all black. But yeah, let's go through a bit more in depth with some close-ups of the parts, and I'll put the part descriptions in the description below. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so we'll just start with the stem here. So this is the Controltech Direct Contact stem. It weighs an absolute ton. I had 4 spare titanium bolts, which I put on the top loader, but it's a pretty cool stem because the actual silver plate you can actually pull off and spin round, so it will actually bring the bars further back to you. So it actually has 2 positions to alter the reach, which is pretty good. Now I'm just going to zoom in here. So just at the back here, actually, let me just see if I can keep this in, because I'm on a tripod. Okay, so basically I had to get a shim for the bars, and it just doesn't look good. It was a cheap shim, but it actually doesn't go right to the edge of the stem. This is why I was looking at the Ozonic Shorty, and the actual shim actually fits perfectly within the Ozonic Shorty stem. So this is why I'm also going to swap it out, because I'm just not happy with how that looks. I know they're cheap kind of moto bars, like they're actually really old retro bars, but I'm just not happy with that kind of configuration. It hasn't got full contact on the clamp, so a little bit dodgy, but yeah, there we go. My actual previous video, I did do a weigh-in of these handlebars. I think they're about 820 grams, something like that, so they're pretty heavy. Steel handlebars with a crossbar on it. I think they were 810 or 820 wide. On my modern downhill bike, again, you can check the videos on my page of the Specialized S-Works demo. They're only 800 wide on the Renthal fat bar carbons, so these are actually the widest bars I've ever owned in my entire life. They have absolutely no give to them because of the crossbar. There's no flex, so it's actually quite a harsh ride, but the actual riding position is really comfy, so I do want to keep the bars on here. So if I put that other Ozonic stem on the Planet X, it will actually shove it forward a little bit further, but it will be slightly lower. Now this is actually a size 16 frame, but it actually rides around about an 18. I really don't know why that is, but it is actually really comfy with the reach. But yeah, up front, got the M950 XTR V-brake levers, single set. I do have on the Kona cinder cone, I've got them with the STIs, so like the shifters incorporated in the XTR levers, but these are the single ones, predominantly used for downhill. Slightly more modern XT shifter on there. I'll find out the M number for you guys in the description. But yeah, like I was saying, I wanted to kind of do a bit of a retro feel with the bike, and that's why I got the tan grips, but they're a bit more yellowy, orangey, and I'm just not really into them. It's the first time I've had the death grips. They do feel kind of comfy, but I think if I went for these again, yeah, I'll go for like the dark ones, or maybe look for just a cheaper brand, just to get them in black, just to kind of keep the front end a bit more stealth. So here we have the Chris King A headset with a Hope spacer in, and actually I think it's a 5 or 10mm anodized red spacer there. Now this is actually a blue and red set combined, so I'll just zoom out here. Sorry about the noise of the motor in the camera. So as you can see down there, yeah, I've got like the red lower shell, blue upper, then red kind of top cap to go on there. So I just did it to match the stem, and that's when obviously I did the bolts as well, red and blue. So it's a bit of an American theme, or UK theme, or Australian theme, New Zealand theme, French. Anything with the red, white and blue on there, obviously you can associate that with that. So I just thought I'd play around with the colours, but if I just put like one silver stem on there and get rid of the Controltech, I will either just have the red or the blue. Just another little cheeky detail, I put a titanium bolt in there in the XT shifter, just to save a bit of weight and just to make it a bit more blingy. And then also as well, these are actually quite rare. So this is the Xlite top cap. Xlite is now muck off, if any of you didn't know, but that's also got a titanium bolt in there as well. I'll try and zoom in. But yeah, I love them top caps. I wanted one of them as a kid for so long, and I've actually acquired 2 of them over the past year. They are awesome, love them. Okay, this is something you didn't see on the original video, but I was going to route the rear brake cable on the other side instead of using the middle guide, but unfortunately it actually just snapped off. Now again, I don't know how old this frame is or what it's gone through, but yeah, basically that snapped off there, so I had to route it through the middle section of the cable guides. Okay, so at the front end here on the braking system, again we have the XTR M950 V-brakes. I took the cable hanger off in the video before, but I will be putting that on again if I use the purple anodized cantilever system. I've also got a set of Onza chill pills, which I've had in my drawer for quite a while and never used on a build, so I kind of want to use them on this. I can actually still keep the carbon brake booster, doesn't matter what brakes I use. So we'll see how it looks. Obviously it hides the brakes, so I don't know whether I want them in full view or to keep the stiffness with the carbon brake booster. Some people call that the XTR brake booster, but it does have an M number, I just can't remember, but again I'll find out and put it in the description below. They're kind of rare to come across uncracked, and even to find actually. They're a bit difficult, but they're actually going for big money then. So if you actually see them on a bike, I'd buy the whole bike just to get them brake boosters because they're quite iconic from back in the day. While we're at the front end, we've got the Tioga tyres, the factory tyres. I actually used to run these on some of my bikes back in the UK. They were okay, I'll just leave it at that. I think the rear one has actually got a split in the tyre, so this will not be going off-road, it will just be on the road if I keep these tyres on. But like I said, I've got some tan wall tyres. I could go the semi-slicks again, kind of like the DTHs that I've got on my other retro builds, or another kind of knobbly tyre to kind of fit in with the frame. I'm not 100% sure what I'm actually going to do with the Manitou forks. Basically, I've got some other forks in mind which would actually jack the front end up and steepen the top tube and head angle to give it a bit more of a playful ride. The suspension on the Manitou, I've got new elastomers in it, but there's hardly any travel and therefore it actually keeps the front end fairly low. So I don't know what to do with them, but I love the look of the industrial look with the silver on the silver, so we'll see what's going on with that. So unfortunately the way that the person laced this back in the day, they didn't have the Hope logo set up correctly. I need to check whether that's a sticker or whether it's like embossed on, laser etched, but essentially for me that's upside down. There's nothing I can do about it. As you can see, there is actually this is the Hope Tiagra, I believe, so it is actually a disc compatible one. So when I bought these wheels, it did have discs with them, which is awesome, the Hope discs, hence why they are actually going on another bike for a disc brake build. But yeah, they're pretty rare to come by these days. I've actually got again an M950 XTR skewer front and rear, but again just the silver is really nice on the whole industrial look of the bike. This is something that kind of annoys me, again just the way that the person has built the hub onto the rim. When you look through the valve, I always like to see the hub logo and the rim logo lined up and actually facing in a different way. So I would normally have the writing facing to the drive side, and as you can see this is the D521 downhill rim. It pretty much hasn't been used. I took the bike out for a spin and the V-brake pads were still sliding on this on the rim because it literally hasn't been used. It's been used as a disc specific rim, but that's good for aesthetics because it hasn't had any wear on it at all. Okay, we've got the Ringle H2O or Ringle, depending on how you say it. I normally put this on most of my Ghetto AFs and any kind of silver bikes. I think it just pops heaps. Again, these are fairly rare, and also going for big money. There is a company online which does replicas, but this is the original Ringle one. And again, I've got the red and blue bolts in there, with actually the red and blue spacers, and on the other bottom cage there as well. Here we have some 170mm race face forged cranks with a aftermarket central BB bolt on there just to kind of finish it off. And this isn't a narrow wide chain ring, that would be the next thing to buy for this, but it's a 36 tooth Onia. I don't even know the brand of that one, but it's 110 BC BCD, and it's actually got a downhill kind of rock bash guard on the inside of that, which is kind of cool. I actually put some pretty generic red anodized bolts on there because it didn't come with that. But also as well, it's got the DMR V8, which I did the service on. Now when I got them, there was actually 4 ball bearings missing from the left pedal and 3 from the right, so they actually feel rubbish. I could buy them, but it's not really worth it. And also as well, there's quite a few pins missing from both pedals, and again, I can't actually be arsed sourcing them just because of the age of the pedal, and they weren't really my favourite back in the day anyway. So I'll most probably be replacing the pedals on this as well when I kind of upgrade it to a few more parts. So like I said before, the frame is actually made by Whistler Cycle Works over in Canada. I've never seen that over here. I actually didn't know that brand existed, and there's very little online about it. So it's cool. I've got the original seat post. I do actually have an original Whistler Cycle Works stem and bar and bottle cage. That might be put on at a later date, but I love the moto bars and a shorter stem than the Whistler Cycle Works is. So yeah, but I've kept the seat post. That's a really crappy seat collar that is on there. Nothing special at all. Really don't like it. It's actually chewed up a fair bit as well. So yeah, that might change down the track to a bit more sleeker one, and make it quick release as well, so it's a lot easier to adjust on the fly. Just on the back end, exactly the same brake configuration, Shimano XTR M950 XTR brake carbon booster. On the front, actually, I forgot to mention, but it is in the video, I got a titanium bolt set from SRP. You can still go online and look at my older videos with SRP, and the discount code is there to get some money off your products. As you can see, whether this would be used for a pannier rack, I doubt it, maybe, I don't know, but again, I've just put the little red bolts on there just to match all the other bolts everywhere. This is a specialized Mimic seat. Actually came off a modern bike that I have. I really like the fit of it, and it's very lightweight, but that's a really modern saddle. But yeah, I love the look of it. So here we have an XTR mech. Again, I'll get the model number for you guys just in case you need to, if you want to buy one, or you want to get it. Basically, it's quite funny because when I was actually researching this, it actually came on a bike that I bought, so I didn't buy this like purposely for this, but it's actually got really bad reviews on it. Even though obviously back in the day it was the top one, but it has got a carbon cage on it, I guess if you want to call it that, and the previous owner has put a red anodized lower jockey wheel on there. The one at the top is just a standard one. It is so lightweight, but I think the carbon plates were cracking or something like that, or the actual shifting was going into people's wheels, I don't know, but it has actually got really bad reviews from back in the day. Moving across here is the classic Dave's chain device. As you saw in the video before, I had to kind of redo the protective padding on the inside because it just all disintegrated. But that's the first version with the single bolt. The generation 2 has 2 bolts at the top and 1 at the bottom. Once again, same as the front one, this is the Hope Tiaglide with the disc brake attachment on the left hand side, on the non-drive side. So again, that's going on another bike, so it will be pulled off here pretty soon, and it is linked up to an XTR M950 rear skewer. Just going to the cassette here, basically this is a road cassette, 9-speed, and I do actually have a short cage road rear mech, which I might take the XTR off and put that on just so it's a lot more compact. It is actually silver and might look a little bit better, because I think with the DCD this rear mech looks a little bit weird with how much of a long cage it has on it. I always love short cage rear mechs. I just think it will look a lot better, and also it pulls it out of the way in case you're going to hit any rocks or roots or anything. And I guess last but not least, right at the beginning of the last video, I put the original badges on there. So you have the Canadian flag, you've got the Whistler Cycle Works, and a bit of blurb which is on there. And then obviously my custom Sydney Retro MTB hashtag stickers. If any of you guys want them, please hit me up. I do have a few spare, and I am actually willing to post them worldwide if anyone does want any. And I will get a run of decals going if the sales of them go pretty good. And that's a wrap, folks. So the next video will be basically a bit of a revamp of this beast, and hopefully it rides just as good as it does now, and most of the parts you'll see from here will be going to another bike. But thank you for sticking around till the end of the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel, especially the subscription. Give the video a like. If you want to engage with me in the comments, please feel free to drop a comment below. And yeah, check out some of my other videos in the little cards that will pop up on the screen now. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. See ya, bye.